But give it up for Wendy Shaffer! Where you need the mic? Down here.
All right, up there or down there?
Up there or down there?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Oh, I was a waitress for about 100 years, and so I have a bunch of waitress poems. Sorry. Hello?
There we go.
Hello?
Yes, we got drunk people out here want to hear you.
Check. That's better. Okay, I was a waitress for 100 years. So I brought a few waitress poems. I'm starting out with one. The man on TV says it's the job of the poet to know the spirit. That even though the eternal is available to everybody, some people might not get around to it because of economic necessity. Well, some poets have economic necessities too. Like me, 5 days late with the rent. And it's an economic necessity that forces me to stand at a table in front of a bug-eyed man who doesn't want his lettuce touching his bun and write all that shit down. There is nothing eternal in that experience, except maybe the guy's baby looking up at me with the same bug-eyed worry. The thought of generations of bug-eyes concerned that their buns don't get wet. Something eternal there. Something that makes me smile as I walk into the kitchen with his order, fulfilling his and my necessity at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a nice Christmas poem. You want me to stay in the same place?
Pretty much. Do whatever you want.
Thank you. Christmas poem. I didn't want a Christmas tree. I didn't like the idea of all that green cut down just to wait with the garbage for the garbage man 2 weeks later. I didn't want him to steal the tree, but after he stole it, I wanted him to put it up. We left it out back on a pile of old wood and branches and trash. 6 days with me dreaming it in the house, blinking reds and greens and blues as mysterious as brightly colored packages suspending surprise. But I wasn't interested in Christmas. I told him, go ahead, work on Christmas. Don't get me a present. Do what you want. When he finally borrowed a tree stand, he put it in the middle of the room and we walked around it for 2 days like a mutant growth. It blocked the way between the kitchen and the living room. I didn't realize it was so big. The night I found out he wasn't as happy with me as I was with him. The night he said, I'm working on second shift on Christmas. And I cried, you're going to leave me alone on Christmas? And he got mad. You said you weren't interested in Christmas. That night I woke at 5 a.m. He was dancing around the tree like a giant elf, where he'd moved it, sniffing and tossing scarves over the branches. Look, he said, a star for the top. Lately I keep hearing my mother say, don't get me a present. Just be nice to me for 1 day. And I can't believe how this holiday hangs open like a Christmas stocking, each year waiting for me to stuff it with brightly wrapped and ribboned packages of shit.
That's good stuff.
Another waitress poem, The Psychology of the Serving Class. I went up to the table, but he hadn't tasted his steak. I went up again, and he still hadn't tasted it. When I approached the table the third time, he asked not to be interrupted so much, and I didn't go back for a while. I let his ashtray fill up. I let him sit with his dirty dishes. I let him chew on his ice. I didn't speak to him again. I was afraid. After he left, I got angry. I realized that I expect people to adore me. And that's why I'm a waitress. I remembered my rudest customer, my ex-boyfriend, who had interrupted me in my opening speech saying he didn't come there to be entertained. He came there to eat. This is a poem. My father moved to Guatemala at the end of his life and married a woman down there, and this is a poem about his wife. It's called The Human Family, but it's about Prozac too. With Prozac, you get a Prozac body, a Prozac heart, and a Prozac soul. It fixes everything. You can be sitting on your father's bed in Guatemala while his wife describes her former husband at the gas station kidnapped by men in black leather jackets as her 8-year-old son is held back by someone in the government. She tells in Spanish how they kept him 3 days before they dumped his body. Some word that's like a blade, a bayonet, that they used on his guts. Your father does not translate exactly. Your friend who doesn't know Spanish is sitting beside you, experiencing the story in her body. And your Prozac mind thinks, this is what they do in these countries. You can leave this truth back there in the bedroom in the nice Guatemalan casa, surrounded by walled-in shacks, courtyards of dirt and rooting roosters, your Prozac flat-stomached body on a plane through the clouds, all the native handicrafts in your bag, the expensive camera pointed out the window. And when you think back on the story of her son freaking out when a teacher entered his classroom wearing a black leather jacket, your Prozac mind will think only about your own black leather jacket, what you would do with it if you moved to Guatemala. And you may not feel the truth of this other world until you give yourself back to yourself with all the torpor, the hesitation, and the blues. Your natural, angry, bloated body, your dreams unaided by Prozac as you wake before dawn, a disturbance in your soul, the picture of your stepmother's first husband grabbed by men in black leather jackets in the gas station you walked past one afternoon. The image of 8-year-old Luis Alfredo held back as his father disappears into a car. The thought of 3 days' torture, his body sliced into like an experiment. How to extract words from flesh. Her husband's body found naked and mutilated, dead. A life of fear as she waited for them to kill the rest of her family. Without Prozac, you may wake before dawn, a disturbance in your soul, and know that you are part of this human family.
Yeah.
This is a little lighter. It's called When I Lived in Southern Florida. My boyfriend put a used car lot up his nose. He had $50,000 left. He bought $5,000 of cocaine as an investment. We snorted so much that when he told me that the street light was a helicopter snooping in our living room, I believed him. He decided to let his friend up north distribute the product. Driving up 90, he thought all the cars were transporting cocaine because they were all driving the speed limit. Cocaine is my least favorite drug. My Baby and Me. That's the title. We never had a chance. Our straight-jacket smiles and white bread touch, our fears jogging around the iron tracks inside our mud pie brains. It was a starched collar affair, a Mussolini of the mines, boot camp love. We girded our sphincters and locked our big money hearts away in the Brinks truck. We couldn't relax, each trapped in separate metronome time, each chiseling the cornerstone of our space station fight plans. We said we were floating on a hurricane, dancing free on molten lava, but we were only clever spiders waiting in future's cemetery. Alone now, a bonsai in her girdle, a drum machine in a mausoleum. Another waitress poem. It amuses me to stand at a table of 3 women in their 40s and listen while they talk about their girlfriends, large libraries, and being informed about the side effects. They pretend that they don't see me. I guess I'm something lower than a human being. These women have very serious eyebrows and noses. They all lean forward on their elbows and nod their heads as they talk. They could be deciding world policy. No, I heard one ask the other, are they real leather or are they just sneaks? But shoes are important. The shoes on the feet of these women are certainly more important than human beings. I wonder what they read in the large library at John Carroll University. After so many winters, there must be a spring, entering your vacant afternoons the way a young black man crosses into your backyard for the first time, bringing you light. And your backyard is his backyard, is your yard where God gets up before dawn and plants tiny purple surprises to astonish even your old age, where the dawn still cuts fresh as adolescence. Today your heart still dribbles across the tar drive where you were a young thing with colt legs and pebbled skin, throwing jokes in the face of God, brash enough to believe you would survive. You never thought one part of you would stay firm as 13-year-old breasts, while the rest of your life crumbled into detritus. Like your grandmother who forgot her husband, forgot her children, and at age 70 remembered only the love the war killed. When she was 18, she got up from her rocker and wept. There must be a spring, entering with melting footprints, the way a young black man wearing a sky blue cotton jacket steps across the thin layer of snow covering your heart, and you blossom like a sturdy wildflower in the rain. And he won't love you with his hands or his eyes or his lust. He will only lay open the heart of God, right there on your back porch, under the moonlight and the streetlight, a gift you take into winter when you no longer remember the way he moved into your life. Okay, there's only 2 more. Drinking water. She wasn't paying attention when all our planets slipped out of orbit and started going backwards. She was building a better mousetrap, sneezing green pus, trying to be a quantum mechanical particle, anything but paying attention. So many distractions, all those out-of-control fires, serial murder, TV series, fathers going postal, the endless plodding LA freeway of the O.J. White Bronco chase. The president's dick getting sucked, Brad with Gwyneth, Brad with Jen, Brad with Angelina Jolie, and what is Angelina doing at Davos? It's true that 1 out of 17 Americans believe that Christmas is the birth of Santa Claus. It's true that each day 30,000 children die. That each day 30,000 children die of poverty, belly, bloat, malnutrition, neglect. Die of diarrhea caused by lack of clean water, but she isn't paying attention, even as one of the lucky 12% of the world's humans who use 85% of its water. She's addicted to news, print, television, radio, computer, but now she is so remote, even to herself, she may as well be stardust, trapped in frozen smoke. She feels like her parts don't fit together. Oh, watch out! She's gotten into the emergency chocolate. She's overdosing on Prozac. She's finding purpose in her paycheck. And here come all her planets, skipping and bouncing, flying back in the right direction. She's filling every moment with her upturned Cheshire grin, screwing others and being screwed in return. And I'm going to end with this one.
dance, right?
I don't know.
No, I think some people started falling asleep.
Oh, where? I'll take your stick. I'll wake him up.
All right. Okay, this is my last one. White girl growing up in the 50s, stripped of deciduous and coniferous vitality, homogeneous, plopped down like tract houses on a parched surface. I hugged the bark and pulled myself up the branches beyond the giggles of Barbie, her unresistant breasts pointing at Ken beyond the lessons from my mother, stuck in her own spotless sludge of suburbia, stuck in her own jaded morass of traded power. White girl hearing the language of bulldozers framed in public press release ease. Marriageable, not me. White girl stick-legged, can't dance or laugh too loud. White gloves and knees eternally pressed together. Not me. Homogeneous, good girls speak by rote. Not me. How the 50s clung to those last white girl rules, putrid and false and stinking in starch before the pill came imploded. Attire, plastic, etiquette. Before breasts popped out of their pointed brassieres. Before Reefer and Janice and Angela breaking free. Homogeneous, not me, not me, not me.